What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today I'm jumping into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time we're going to be doing the Trap Shuffle, which is the weekly challenge for the week of February 28th, 2017. So for this challenge specifically, I'm going to say your best bet is Tundra. This is due to the fact that the challenge, it removes all of the damage from all of your close range attacks and all of the primary ranged attacks that the characters possess. So, actually I didn't explain that right. All of the attacks that your equipped weapon does, which are your left click and right click attacks, regardless of whether or not they do damage, don't do damage now. In addition to that, close range special attacks such as Black Paws, Go for the Throat, no longer do damage as well. This leaves only indirect damage done by things that aren't the playable hero themselves to deal damage. So this means like Cygnus can deal damage with his Mini-Master upgrade, which lets his Summoned Rift deal damage to enemies that walk through it. And Blackpaw can deal damage with his Summoned Knolls. Tundra is actually able to deal damage with his Avalanche, where he turns into a snowball and you just roll through things. So he actually winds up dealing the most damage out of the three, and has access to the skill more often than the other two do. So he's actually the DPS choice here. In addition to that, he has the combined abilities of having the second most mana in the group and a significant health pool. So you can tank, you can use the firewall bracers and the lightning ring that you're given here, and we're pretty much just going to go super budget on the traps and spam spikes to make sure that the enemies die, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Here we go.
I am honored.
Alright, so I haven't actually done a video on the temple graveyard yet, so
I do not love these, but I suppose I love our
my
enemy.
strategy for getting this
I
done
suppose it will do its duty.
is not something that's public
Well
yet.
placed, I think.
But that's a good thing, because the par times changed significantly for like
Crude?
everything.
We must stop at nothing.
So
If we must.
it's a good idea
Steel
that
and magic are a poor substitute
I test it
for
out again
glory
just to
too.
see whether or not it's even possible. So let's
I would
see.
rather feel my enemy's last breath upon my cheek.
Do I need that one too? I think that's what I used the first time. So let's go ahead and stick with it. So
Crude?
starting with
I
this
suppose
particular
we must
barricade,
stop at nothing. Steel and magic are a poor substitute
we're going
for
to
glory
essentially
too.
trace the pathing of our enemies.
I suppose it will do its duty. Well placed, I think.
And as
I do
we
not
get
love these, but I suppose I love our enemy less.
closer and closer to our final destination, it may actually be better to put this right here.
I suppose it will do its duty. Well placed, I think.
Ooh, there we go.
Steel and
Crazy
magic
camera
are a
stuff.
poor substitute for claw and tooth.
Alright, I think we want to stop it right there.
We must. Crude?
Pick it
I
back up
suppose we
with,
must stop at nothing.
whoops, a few more of
Steel and
those.
magic are a poor
Actually, that's,
substitute for claw and tooth. If we must.
I think right there is good. Alright, so then the rest of this we just go ahead and spike up.
Will do its duty. I do not love these, but I suppose I love our enemy less. I would rather feel
I'm
my
doing
enemy's
this like
last
super
breath
late.
upon
Alright,
my
that
cheek.
one's an extra.
Steel and magic
There we
are a
go.
poor
So
substitute for claw and tooth.
basically, I'm going to spend the majority of my time up here helping to soften up the enemies that are coming through here so that they don't overrun this Guardian. This Guardian is pretty much the most important, so you put your toughest Guardian here. He'll deal the most damage and prevent most things from getting through. It's mainly because this gate's super close. You don't want anything happening that's going to screw everything up. Now, because you trace the path for pretty much everything coming through here. The guys that are gonna come through this gate are just about guaranteed to get murdered. Excuse me, I need to grab a quick sip. Alright, there we go. So it looks like we're starting.
Enemy has opened a minion portal.
Now, the best tactic, if you're going for time, when a gate opens or enemies start to spawn from it, stand in front of it. As soon as you see a group grouping up or they bust it down, hit 3, and just run away. If they even manage to make it to a single trap, all the small minions will have burned to death. And then you just repeat it and move on down the line. It's nothing super complicated, but the goal is to maximize as much damage as you're able to do with the given items, and to make sure that you are not holding up the enemies. Let the traps deal the damage that they need to. The only time you want to actually try to tank is when you're near your guardians, since they can deal damage. Alright, we're going to take all of the bonuses to avalanche that we can get. As you can see, when I roll over enemies, they take damage. You can't roll over the same enemy more than once, so don't feel obligated to stay in avalanche for any particularly long period of time. Removing its cooldown or time limit or whatever you want to call it is pretty much just a nice way to use it as a movement skill. It doesn't really add much additional damage to it after you have tapped all the enemies once. I apologize for that. It's like 1 a.m. when I'm recording this and I'm a little tired. But that's when I do all my best recording, so let's get this done. Alright, here we go. If possible, use the lightning ring closer to the guardian. That was a faux pas on my part. Alright. Alright, those guys are gonna die. Now, if I had a little bit more coin, I would have liked to be able to funnel the top section here a little bit better. But killing the guys that are at the end there is super important, and you can't afford to let these guys get to a point where they're really bunching up on your guardian. If that ever happens, pretty much screwed. Because as soon as he gets overrun, so does your rift. So if you get the wave 4 with less than 2 minutes and 45 seconds on the marker, you are probably on your way to victory. Just, again, follow the ideas that I gave you for setting things up initially, and make sure that when you get the opportunity, you use your skills to lay on some extra damage. You should be a-okay. So we're going to let our guardian there do what he can, and we're going to come over here, drop this lightning ring, and grab that nice mana moat so that we can deal some real damage. Okay. See if we can go meet these guys. Oh, got caught on a wall. That was a bad thing. But at least we got the mana back. Eliminating the enemies quickly is the goal. So being able to move around the map quickly is super important. And I think if you can properly control avalanche, it is even better than Black Paw's pounce for this particular level and challenge. Not always going to be the case, but that's the reason why we have different characters in the game, right? Diversity allows you to approach problems with different strategies. That and Black Paw is actually a character in this challenge, so can't really fault the devs for not giving you that opportunity to try it out too. Okay. Yep, just going to come back around here, drop that, and we've got about 1.5 minutes left. Should be more than enough time. Alright, so lost the guardian. Shouldn't be too big of a deal though. I'm just gonna let him walk into the traps
Learn is a treasure no thief can
and
covet.
grab Crushing Flow. And now we're on to our last wave. Now it's possible that you might get enough coin pickups to drop a single additional spike trap here. So don't count on coins or anything like that to actually be a big part of, you know, the setup. This is not alms for the poor. You are not going to come out of here with a lot of bonus coin. Okay. Okay, I need to get back out of here. Wow, that was much farther than I expected to be able to get. And we're getting overrun. And if that happens, go ahead and feel free to freeze whatever minions are nearby. If you freeze them near the Guardian will take them out for you. And there we go. Nice, and we hit an achievement. So 5 minutes 41 seconds with Tundra. Not sure if that 508,000 is my new personal best, but it could be. Nope, 510, which I did with him originally. I think it was like 3 seconds faster. But either way, here's a clear for this week. I've already done it with the other 2 characters, but I've only managed 4 stars. I don't really think that this challenge really warrants any different strategy. Like getting the 4-star with this is pretty easy. You just need to make sure that you stay towards the top near your Guardian and use whatever abilities you have to stall the enemies, or in Black Paul's case, literally just tank damage in front of your Guardian so your Guardian can do all the work. But that'll get you guys your boxes for the week, and if you have any questions about it, feel free to let me know. Drop a comment on the video, or feel free to just, you know, let me know what you think. Either way, thanks as always for watching. I sincerely appreciate it, guys. And as always, until next time, have a good one, folks.